Lara lay on a thin hospital bed in a small clinic in Lagos. Sweat rolled down her forehead. Her body felt heavy, and her skin burned with fever. The white bedsheet was damp, and her breathing was quick and shallow. She held a phone close to her ear with trembling hands. Her voice was weak, but she tried to speak clearly. "Hello. I'm so sorry," Lara said, her voice shaking. "I've been preparing for this interview, but I'm very sick. I'm in the hospital right now. Please. I truly want to come—" A cold voice cut her off on the other end of the line. "Ma'am, we do not reschedule interviews. If you are not here at the exact time, your application will be canceled. Thank you." Click. The call ended. Lara slowly lowered the phone. Her arm dropped to the side like all her strength had left her. She stared up at the cracked ceiling, blinking back tears. "Please," she whispered, her voice barely a breath. "Please don't take this chance away from me. My daughter, she deserves a better life." In the corner of the room, a little girl sat quietly on a plastic chair. Her name was Lily. She was 5 years old, with big brown eyes and short curly hair tied with blue beads. Her feet swung above the floor as she watched her mother. She didn't speak. She just sat still, her small hands folded in her lap. She had seen her mother work hard, suffer, and hope for something better. Now, she was watching her cry, and she knew she had to do something. The sky outside was still a soft gray when Lily opened her eyes. The hospital room was quiet. Her mother lay asleep, her face pale, lips dry, and skin hot from the fever. The IV drip clicked gently beside the bed. Lily slipped off the plastic chair without making a sound. She walked to the bedside and stood on her tiptoes. With one hand, she carefully moved a strand of hair from her mother's forehead. "Mama," she whispered softly, "you need to rest now." She looked at the brown leather bag beside the bed, the one her mother never let out of her sight. Slowly, she unzipped it and pulled out the clear folder. Inside was the resume, still clean and straight. She held it tight in both hands like a treasure. She walked to the corner where her clothes were folded in a small plastic bag. She chose her favorite outfit, a bright kitenge dress with pink, blue, and yellow flowers. Her mother had sewn it for her last birthday. She put it on carefully, then looked at her small sandals, worn but still good. She slid her feet into them. The folder looked big in her tiny hands, but she hugged it close to her chest. Lily walked to the door, looked back one last time at her mother, then stepped out. Lily stood at the side of the road just outside the hospital. Cars zoomed past. Street vendors shouted. Smoke from roasting corn filled the air. But she didn't flinch. She looked down at the paper she had taken from the fridge at home last week. A colorful flyer with a picture of a tall glass building. It had the company's name on it, Mabaso Group Holdings. And right beside it was a small number her mother had circled in red ink. Bus 24. Lily waited until she saw the Danfo with the matching number. The yellow bus pulled up roughly, brakes squeaking. People rushed in. A kind older woman helped her climb on. "Where are you going, small madam?" the woman asked, smiling. "To the big glass building," Lily said, hugging the folder tightly. "My mama is supposed to have a job there." The woman nodded slowly. "Then sit near me. I will tell you when to get down." Lily sat quietly, her feet swinging above the dirty floor of the bus. She held the folder like it was magic, like it could fix everything. Around her, Lagos buzzed with life. Cars honking, music playing, hawkers tapping windows. But in her heart, she felt calm. She had a mission. About 40 minutes later, the woman tapped her gently. "Your stop, little one. There it is." Lily stepped off the bus. In front of her stood the tallest building she had ever seen, its glass walls shining in the morning sun. She took a deep breath and walked toward the doors. The front doors of Mabaso Group Holdings opened with a soft whoosh as Lily stepped inside. Behind a big marble desk sat a woman with short braids and gold earrings. Her name tag read Ngozi. Ngozi was busy typing when a small shadow appeared at her desk. She looked up and blinked. Standing in front of her was a little girl in a bright kitenge dress, holding a folder almost half her size. Ngozi leaned forward gently. "Hello, sweetheart, are you lost?" Lily shook her head. "No, I'm here for the interview." Ngozi blinked again. "Interview?" "Yes," Lily said, standing straighter. "It's my mama's interview. She's very sick and couldn't come. But she really needs this job, so I came instead." For a moment, Ngozi didn't know what to say. People nearby had slowed down, watching the scene. 2 security guards began to move closer, frowning. Ngozi quickly raised a hand toward them. "No, it's okay," she said. Then she turned back to the little girl. "What's your mama's name?" "Lara Kabwe," Lily replied. Ngozi checked her computer. Yes, she was scheduled for 9 today. She took a slow breath, then pressed a button on her earpiece. "Hello? Please tell Mr. Okonkwo to come down. No, don't ask questions, just tell him he needs to see this, it's important." She looked down at Lily and smiled softly. "You're very brave, my dear." Lily smiled back, clutching the folder tighter. On the top floor of Mabeso Group Holdings, Mr. Adam Okonkwo stood beside a large glass window. He was tall, dark-skinned, and sharply dressed in an off-white suit. Only 32 years old, he was already one of the most feared CEOs in Lagos. People said he didn't smile, didn't waste time, and didn't care much for anything outside business. His assistant entered quietly. "Sir, the last interview candidate, you might want to handle this one yourself." Adam frowned. "I thought I said I wasn't to be disturbed today." "I know," she said. "But this is different. Please come downstairs." With a sigh, Adam straightened his tie and stepped into the elevator. The ride down was silent. He expected another desperate applicant or some kind of mistake. But when the doors opened, he stopped. Right in the middle of the lobby stood a tiny girl in a colorful dress, holding a folder almost as wide as her chest. Her back was straight. Her eyes were steady. She turned and looked up at him. "Are you the boss?" she asked. "I am," he replied slowly. Lily stepped forward and handed him the folder with both hands. "This is my mama's. She was supposed to come, but she's very sick, so I came instead." Adam raised an eyebrow, surprised. "Why would you do that?" She lifted her chin, voice clear. "Because Mama deserves more than pain." The words hit him like a quiet hammer. He looked down at the folder, then back at the child. Around them, the whole lobby had gone silent. Adam took a long breath, then turned to the receptionist. "Ngozi, cancel my next meeting." "Sir?" He didn't repeat himself. Then he looked at Lily and gave the smallest nod. "Come with me." She smiled and followed him down the hallway. It was the beginning of something none of them could yet understand. The meeting room was large, cold, and full of glass. A long table stretched across the center, and big chairs lined both sides. Adam pulled out a chair for Lily. It was too tall for her, but she climbed up with quiet confidence and sat straight, her small legs swinging above the floor. He sat across from her, placing the folder gently on the table. For a moment, he just looked at her, this small girl who had walked into a world meant for grown-ups. "So, Lily," he said, his voice softer than before, "can you tell me why your mother wants this job?" Lily didn't rush. She placed her tiny hands on the edge of the table and thought for a moment. "Mama works all the time," she began. "She cleans other people's houses. She carries food on her head to sell to shops. She never gets to rest." Adam nodded slowly. "She doesn't buy anything for herself," Lily added. "Even when her shoes are broken, she says, 'These ones are still okay,' and then she buys me new ones instead." Adam glanced down at Lily's clean white sandals. He didn't say anything, but his face changed a little. "She used to go to school," Lily continued, her voice quiet. "She told me she loved learning, but when she had me, she had to stop everything." Adam's eyes didn't leave her face. "She told me one night," Lily said, almost whispering, "that she's tired of just surviving. She wants to use her brain again. She wants a job that sees who she really is." The room fell completely silent. Adam leaned back in his chair. No resume had ever spoken to him like this. And yet this child, with her truth, her love, and her hope, had just told him everything he needed to know. After Lily left the room with Ngozi, Adam remained seated, the folder still open in front of him. He looked down at the neatly typed words on the resume. The name at the top read Lara Kabwe. She had studied marketing at the University of Ibadan. Full scholarship, top marks, leadership roles, president of the student business club, peer mentor. Adam raised an eyebrow. She had been sharp, driven, full of promise. Then suddenly, the line of success stopped. No graduation, no internship. Instead, the next section read, house cleaner, street vendor, waitress, night shift janitor. He stared at it, slowly tracing the timeline with his finger. The story was clear without being told. A young woman with a bright future, suddenly forced to survive. Adam leaned back in his chair, silent. He had read thousands of CVs in his life, most full of big words and empty noise. But this was real. Adam closed the folder slowly. Something inside his chest, long buried and quiet, began to move. That afternoon, a delivery bike pulled up outside the small hospital. A nurse brought a small package into Lara's room and placed it on the bedside table. Lara stirred slowly, still weak from the fever. Her eyes opened halfway. Then she saw it. A neat bouquet of soft, colorful wildflowers stood in a glass jar beside her bed. Next to it was a small box wrapped in clean, cream-colored paper. A note leaned gently against it. Her hands trembled as she reached for the card. The handwriting was simple and neat. To the strongest woman I've yet to meet, Adam Okonkwo. Inside the box was a small pack of cold chocolate milk, her daughter's favorite. Lara sat up fast. Her heart began to race. "Lily," she whispered. Her eyes darted around the room. The chair was empty. Panic filled her chest. She grabbed her phone and quickly searched through her folder for the number on the company flyer. Her fingers shook as she dialed. "Hello, Mabaso Group Holdings," came a calm voice. "This is Ngozi speaking." "Please," Lara said quickly. "This is Lara Kabwe. I think my daughter may have come to your office today with my folder. She's only 5. I'm so sorry." Ngozi chuckled softly. "Don't worry, Miss Kabwe," she said warmly. "Your daughter is safe." Lara's throat tightened. "In fact," Ngozi continued, "she may have just earned you a second chance." Lara said nothing. She was too stunned to speak. The next day, a message was sent to the hospital. Mabaso Group invited Lara Kabwe to come in for a formal interview. Lara's fever had gone down, but her body still felt weak. Even so, she didn't hesitate. She washed and dressed carefully. Her skirt was simple, her blouse a soft navy color. She brushed her hair back into a neat bun. Her shoes were old but clean. Lily held her hand as they stood outside the glass doors of Mabaso Group Holdings. "You'll do great, Mama," the little girl whispered. Lara smiled, holding back tears. "Because of you, my love." Inside the building, the receptionist, Ngozi, greeted her with a warm smile. "Miss Kabwe, welcome. Mr. Okonkwo is expecting you." Lara followed her through quiet hallways. Her heart pounded with every step. When the door to the executive office opened, Adam Okonkwo stood by his desk. He looked different this time, less sharp, more human. He stepped forward, offering a firm handshake. "Miss Kabwe, I'm glad you're feeling better." "Thank you, sir," Lara said softly. Adam smiled gently. "Your daughter gave the most powerful interview I've seen in all my years here." Lara looked down, her cheeks warming. Adam pointed to the chair across from his desk. "Now," he said, "I'd like to hear from you." Lara nodded slowly, sat down, and opened her folder. This time she would speak for herself. A week later, Lara Kabwe walked into Mabaso Group as a junior associate. It wasn't a senior role, no big title, but it was a start. Some staff gave her polite smiles. Others didn't smile at all. She heard the whispers. "That's the woman with the child. She's only here because the CEO feels sorry for her." But Lara didn't let it break her. She arrived early, before the office even filled. She stayed late, long after others had gone. She read every document she was given, took notes in meetings, watched the senior team closely. How they spoke, how they moved, how they thought. She didn't ask for special treatment. She just worked, quietly, faithfully. And when she made mistakes, because she did, she apologized, corrected them, and never repeated them. One day when she stayed late finishing a report, a sandwich quietly appeared on her desk. No note, but she knew who had sent it. On another day when she called to say she'd be late, Lily had a fever. Adam's message was short and kind. "Family first, take your time." He didn't hover, he simply supported. And in that quiet, steady space, Lara began to grow. Not just in the job, but in the belief that maybe, just maybe, she belonged. Every Friday after school, a little burst of joy entered Mabaso Group's high-rise office. Her name was Lily. She came with her small backpack, coloring books, and a bright smile. The guards waved her in like she was royalty. The receptionist kept her favorite juice cold in the fridge. By now, she had her own special spot in Adam's office, a small cushion near the window, a box of crayons, and a tiny stool just her size. She would sit quietly as her mother finished work, humming and drawing pictures of animals, houses, and stars. Adam sometimes paused his calls just to glance over and see what she had drawn. One time she scribbled a crown on his head and called him the King of Papers. He laughed, a real laugh, and didn't correct her. The staff got used to her presence. In fact, they started to love it. They called her Little CEO. She waved at everyone in the hallway. She handed out stickers she got from school. She even once reminded the finance manager to take his lunch, because Mama says grown-ups forget. She didn't know it, but her quiet joy brought life to the office. And to Adam, she brought something he hadn't felt in years: peace. It was a quiet Friday evening. Most of the staff had gone home. The office lights were low, and the city outside glowed with orange sunset. Inside one of the meeting rooms, Lara and Adam sat side by side, reviewing slides for an upcoming presentation. Lily sat in the corner, curled up with a blanket and juice box, coloring silently. They worked in calm silence, occasionally sharing a smile or a joke. Then, just as Lara stood to pack her bag, a small voice broke the air. "Mama?" Lily asked. Lara turned. "Yes, baby." Lily looked up, her eyes big and serious. "Can I call Uncle Adam, Baba?" The room went still. Lara's hands froze mid-air. Adam blinked, his lips parted slightly. Lily continued softly. "He always picks me up. He brings me ice cream. He reads to me. And he makes you smile." Lara's throat tightened. She turned to Adam, afraid of what she might see, but he was already walking toward them. He bent down beside Lily and gently placed his hand on her shoulder. His voice was low, a little shaky. "It would be my honor." Lara weeps as Adam gently places a hand on Lily's shoulder. Her tears are not from pain this time, but from something softer, deeper: love. She has fought so long, so hard, without help, and now here stands a man once cold, now open, choosing her child like his own. Something in Lara finally releases. Months pass. Her role at Mabaso transforms. No longer the woman with the child, she becomes a respected voice, precise, prepared, quietly powerful. She mentors, advises, grows. But beneath all her growth, one thing grows quietly too: her bond with Adam. It's unspoken but real. He looks up when she walks in. She saves him the last slice of banana bread. They speak less with words now, more with trust. Lily remains the heart of it all, still coloring, still reminding adults to rest, still watching with wide eyes. Without realizing it, she has stitched two hearts together. The end-of-year gala sparkles with lights, music, and laughter. Lara stands in a green flowing dress, glowing beside the Christmas tree. Lily twirls in silver shoes, her cream dress catching the lights as she spins. Adam watches from across the room, no numbers in his hands, just a quiet peace in his eyes. Later, someone taps a glass. Adam steps to the microphone. "Usually I talk about profits, but tonight I want to share a different kind of story." He tells the room about the tiny girl who came to the lobby with a folder twice her size, how she spoke with clarity, with courage, how her love brought one of the company's best hires. He lifts his glass. "To Lara Kabwe, and to the girl who believed in her before the rest of us did." He looks at Lily. "Family is not always blood." The room claps, emotional. Under the golden lights, they stand together, mother, daughter, and the man who quietly chose them both. In a city of traffic and closed doors, one little girl walked in, holding only her mother's dream. No one noticed, but she kept going. She didn't just carry a folder, she carried truth. Because of her, a mother was seen, a door opened, a future began. And love found its way home, quietly, powerfully. So if this story reaches you, remember, sometimes the bravest feet wear the smallest shoes, And the strongest love doesn't shout, it shows up. Who is your Lily? Comment below, share this story, subscribe for more. Love always finds a way.